every Steakmaster's plate at CHOP, behind every taste and texture, every sear, slow turn, and flick of seasoning, there's a chef, ensuring every detail is nothing less than masterful. Experience Steakmasters, where mastery is on the menu. Only at CHOP Steakhouse and Bar from April 10th to June 8th. Reserve now at chop.ca.
For mayor to be released, and so we'll see what happens next. But I don't think the crowd's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, that's the key thing, going into the facility. And Alexis McAdams will follow this story. Head back for breaking details. Thank you. Now to another problem in Newark, a major scare at Newark Airport again. The air traffic controller's radar screens at that airport went blank again overnight, this time for longer than before. This is the second such incident in 2 weeks. It's the latest incident bringing more attention to a system the Trump administration is promising to overhaul. Fox Business correspondent Lydia Hu is in Newark tonight.
Early Friday, another 90-second air traffic control outage.
1989, my hand you off here. Our scope shift for black again. If you care about this, contact your airline to try to get some pressure for them to fix this stuff.
At 3:55 a.m., radar screens temporarily went black in Newark, New Jersey, after a Philadelphia control center that handles airspace for the region lost communications. The morning's outage underscoring mounting concerns about the nation's outdated air traffic control system after revelations of a similar incident last week.
I think it's unfortunate that the previous administration sat in their hands and did nothing, but how grateful we are that we have a Department of Transportation and a secretary and a president who's willing to take bold action and change.
Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy calling for an overhaul, revealing antiquated equipment he says air traffic control still uses to manage airspace. The FAA's plan includes replacing old telecommunications technology at more than 4,600 sites, replacing more than 600 radars, building 6 air traffic control centers, and adding more than 170 new weather stations. Industry experts estimate the cost of upgrades near $30 billion. The plan getting support among some Democrats.
They should fast track this, get it to us to vote on by June 1st. This should be an emergency funding request that Congress brings to the floor immediately to vote on to get these resources moving to help fix the technology in our airports, including in our towers.
Despite these concerns, Secretary Sean Duffy, lawmakers, and airline executives, including United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby, assure the public that flying remains safe. But it may not necessarily be on time. Here at Newark Liberty International Airport, we're tracking more than 140 cancellations today, as well as 375 delays caused by the weather, construction, and staffing shortages. Right back to you.
That's tough. Lydia, thank you. Well, just hours ahead of trade and tariff negotiations with China, President Trump indicates he is considering cutting levies on Chinese imports. Tomorrow's meeting in Switzerland will be the first major talks between the nations since the president implemented his tariff strategy. Senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich is on the North Lawn with details tonight. Good evening, Jackie.
Good evening, Brett. The president says he won't be disappointed if the Treasury Secretary comes away from China talks with no deal, because he says the U.S. already got a great deal by effectively halting trade, since he claims the U.S. is really robbed by the deficit. At the same time, supply chain concerns are mounting.
President Trump says an 80% tariff on China seems right, but it's up to Scott Bessent, his Treasury Secretary, a shift from this position he's had for days.
Are you open to pulling back your tariffs in order to get China to the negotiating table?
No.
The White House refusing to call it a change.
The president still remains with his position that he is not going to unilaterally bring down tariffs on China. We need to see concessions from them as well.
So far, no signal from China that will happen. Its Commerce Ministry reportedly condemning U.S. abuse of tariffs ahead of the weekend meeting in Geneva. But the U.S. has a list of objectives.
Currency manipulation, regulation, overbite, and so forth, not just tariffs.
And additional pressure points.
They have World Trade Organization membership. They get most favored nation treaty treatment, and they also are still considered a developing country. These are things that are going to be evaluated by this president as we go forward.
Switzerland, playing host, hopes to be next up to ink a deal with the U.S.
The aim of Switzerland is to come back to zero tariffs, because Because I just want to remind you that Switzerland doesn't charge any industrial tariffs at all. We have zero, level zero. So the discussions then should also be different.
That, the White House revealed today, won't be possible.
The president is committed to the 10% baseline tariff, not just for the United Kingdom, but for his trade negotiations with all other countries as well.
Permanently, even after the deals are done, like that is going to remain.
The president is determined to continue with that 10% baseline tariff. I just spoke to him about it earlier.
The president leaving a caveat.
There could be an exception at some point. We'll see. You know, somebody does something exceptional for us. That's always possible. But basically, you have a baseline of a minimum of 10%, and some of them will be much higher, 40%, 50%, 60%.
Meantime, we've still not heard any details on the, quote, earth-shattering announcement the president said that he would make before he departs for the Middle East on Monday, but officials here say it does not have to do with trade or a meeting with Putin, Brad.
Okay, we'll wait and see. Jackie Heinrich live on the North Lawn. Jackie, thanks. Investors were cautious ahead of those China talks. The Dow lost 119. The S&P 500 finished off 4. The Nasdaq was up about 1. For the week, the Dow was down 0.16 of a percentage point. The S&P 500 lost about a half. The Nasdaq fell a quarter. Pope Leo XIV celebrated his first Mass today as leader of the Catholic Church. The Chicago native also made his first official remarks as Pope in
Chicago
English.
native.
Religion
You are
correspondent
mad.
Lauren Green shows us tonight from St. Peter's Square.
I wasn't.
I will sing a new song to the Lord because he has done marvels.
A massive Thanksgiving today with the new Pope Leo XIV and all the cardinal electors. The former Cardinal Robert Pavosh, now the 267th successor to St. Peter, called for peace in the world and also reflected on the scripture where Jesus confronts Peter asking, "Who do you say that I am?" As a question that all Christians should answer about Jesus. He also surprised cardinals speaking his native tongue, English.
To the ministry of Peter, you have called me to carry that cross and to be blessed with that mission. And I know I can rely on each and every one of you to walk with me as we continue as a church.
American cardinals spoke to the media about this historic moment and why they elected their friend, Bob.
He's a citizen of the world. He reminds us that we all have our true citizenship in heaven, as St. Paul taught us, and that is his role as universal pastor. Where he comes from is sort of now a thing of the past. Robert Francis Prevost is no longer around. It's now Pope Leo.
The new pope was born in Chicago to parents who are French, Italian, and Spanish. Census records also show his maternal grandparents were Creole, mixed with French and African. His brother back in Illinois spoke about how they knew early on that he would spend his life serving the church.
We knew when he was a little kid that he would be a priest. That was never a question. We all knew that. But I don't think it went so far as he would be pope.
And one of the cardinals said that during the conclave, he saw Cardinal Provost's head in his hand, contemplating, realizing what was happening. But once he accepted that he would be pope, it was like he was made for it. Brett?
Lauren Green, live in Vatican City. Lauren, thank you. Up next, we talk with Microsoft President and Vice Chair Brad Smith about artificial intelligence and what the U.S. has to do to stay on top. First, here's what some of our Fox affiliates around the country are covering tonight. Fox 4 in Dallas with the manhunt for an accused murderer who was released on bond. Officials said Trevor McEwen cut off his ankle monitor and skipped out on the first day of his trial. Fox 11 in Los Angeles says the judge rules that the resentencing hearing for Eric and Lyle Menendez will proceed. The judge denied the district attorney's request to withdraw his predecessor's motion for resentencing. The judge also denied a motion to withdraw the defense's earlier request to disqualify the current DA. And this is a live look at Bennington, Vermont. One of the big stories there tonight from Fox 44 in Burlington. Reenactors kick off the 250th anniversary celebration of the first major victory of the American Revolution. The so-called Green Mountain Boys captured the British Fort Ticonderoga in New York on May 10th, 1775. Today, celebrants trace the journey from Vermont to New York, and the celebration lasts 3 days. That's tonight's live look. Outside the Beltway from Special Report. We'll be right back.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey there, it's
That's me, Kennedy. Make sure to check out my podcast, Kennedy Saves the World. It is 5 days a week. Every week, we check in with Jimmy Fallon, bring in authors for the book club, and even treat some of your favorite Fox personalities to a very special happy hour. Download and listen at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast.
Kennedy Saves the World. America's listening to Fox News.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
High school coaches who came to the rescue of a 14-year-old suffering from a medical emergency in Detroit, Michigan, makes today's Dean's List.
Red light camera ahead.
Was doing warm-up laps at Allen Park High School when all of a sudden she went into cardiac arrest. Her next memory was waking up in the hospital. Alyssa's mom is grateful that her daughter is alive, and thanks to 2 Allen Park High School track coaches, she's going to be just fine. They immediately began performing CPR and used a defibrillator to restart her heart on the field. The high school's athletic director says emergency preparedness is something the school takes very seriously. Alyssa is recovering and doing well. Her family are grateful for all the love and support from their community, and also to the coaches for saving their daughter's life.
How do you thank a person for saving your daughter's life? I'm very thankful.
Janice Dean, Fox News.
This is Fox News Talk.
Headline Rewind.
1969.
We find ourselves rich in goods, but ragged in spirit, reaching with magnificent precision for the moon, but falling into raucous discord on Earth.
I have decided to order the immediate redeployment from Vietnam of the division equivalent of approximately 25,000 men.
At the inquest, I responded as completely and as truthfully as I could to the questions that were put to me by the judge as well as the district attorney.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed. I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. This is the largest group of people ever assembled in one place.
Good morning. What we have in mind is breakfast in bed for 400,000.
Okay.
News as it happened, news as it happened.
This is Fox News Talk.
It's Rachel Campbell. Join me for
Your business doesn't move in a straight line. Make sure your team is taken care of through every twist and turn with Canada Life Savings, retirement, and benefits plans. Whether you want to grow your team, support your employees at every stage, or build a workplace people want to be a part of, Canada Life has flexible plans for companies of all sizes, so it's easy to find a solution that works for you. Visit CanadaLife.com/employee benefits to learn more. Canada Life. Insurance, investments, advice.
you get your favorite podcasts.
Hi. How are you?
AI diffusion. The ability to put AI to work across every part of the American economy to boost productivity, to boost economic growth, to enable people to innovate in their work. And the number one ingredient for that, history shows time and time again, is skilling, investing in education.
Artificial intelligence is becoming a major issue in many areas of life. Congress trying to get a handle on whether and how to regulate its use. Many technology leaders urging lawmakers to support private industry in order to keep the U.S. from falling behind and actually get ahead. Joining us tonight, Brad Smith. He's vice chair and president of Microsoft. He testified before a congressional committee Thursday. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
What's the main message?
I think AI has the potential to transform the world. It will drive our economy, it will boost productivity, but we need to equip the American public so they can use it, acquire the skills. There's a huge opportunity for people to grow their jobs and careers, but they need the skills to do that.
Specifically, what do you need from Congress? Either to get out of the way or set the standard?
Probably 3/4 of the first and 1/4 of the second. Because I think if we overregulate, it will slow down what is the fundamental engine of innovation in the United States. But when you think about education, we have this extraordinary system of community colleges, but we need to invest to help train the teachers. We need to provide the kind of financial aid that will enable people to go back and get some more training. We even need to think not just about AI skills, but as I talked about, electricians. If we want to build more data centers, if we want more electricity, we're probably going to need to train 500,000 more electricians in this country over the next decade.
Yeah, so that's different than the robots taking over your job. That they need those for the AI and all the things that go with it. There's a lot of concern, obviously, about the Terminator thought and like AI is going to take over the world. You're saying you can't let China take over AI.
There is a race between the United States and China, and the United States needs to win that race.
Hello.
We do that in part by powering
How are you?
innovation in the country itself. We also do it by really advancing economic security with our allies so that we're exporting American AI to the world. That's how we grow the market for our companies. And we do it by protecting national security, including ensuring that our best chips are not being diverted to China.
Speaking of chips, NVIDIA CEO was warning that China is not behind. He said China may be right behind the U.S. for now as far as AI, but it's narrowing the gap. We're very close, he said. Remember, this is a long-term infinite race. Huawei, which is on a U.S. trade blacklist, is reportedly working on an AI chip of its own for Chinese customers. So this is a race, really.
It absolutely is a race. And Jensen's right. It's just going to continue. We should assume every day that it's going to be close. We constantly need to invest in our strengths as a nation. And I think that's why I say support for the national labs, our university research is so critical. It's also why I think we have to ensure that our AI is exported to the world, that we get there before, say, Huawei does.
I've done a lot of segments on AI. We did a Common Ground, Democrat, Republican, talking about this. Take a listen.
The spread of mis and disinformation through AI, that's something that we are also very concerned about and something that we're going to be working to solve.
AI is everywhere. It's largely benefited society, but it could also cause us harm. And we want to have a regulatory structure where we allow AI to innovate while reducing the risks of foreseeable harm.
So you were up on Capitol Hill this week. Do lawmakers get it? Does the message that you're trying to bring, do they get it?
I think lawmakers today understand technology so much better than they did 10 or 20 years ago. That is a great thing. AI is still new, and you can put the letters AI into a sentence on about any topic, and it actually is a new form of that issue. So there's a huge amount that people are trying to get their arms around, and they're still in a relatively early stage of doing that.
We saw the evolution of Microsoft and all that you all have done along the years. We see how phones have changed through the years. If we're sitting here today, 2, 3, 5 years from now, is the world going to look a lot different?
I don't know whether it'll be 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 years, but the world will look a lot different. One of the questions was, imagine a future and paint me into that picture. What will feel different? And I said, look, there will be a day when you won't have to go stand in line to renew your driver's license. You won't hit a pothole and wonder, who could I call? You'll have a unified service. You'll be able to talk to your phone. It'll be with an AI service. And if our governments use AI well, citizen services will improve. Interacting with the telephone company or the you name it company that you rely on will be far easier. You should get better service. Learning about things for your kids, that already is changing. So there's a
We'll be watching. It's fascinating. Brad, we appreciate the time.
Thank you. We'll be watching and creating it.
Up next, reaction to the death of a former longtime U.S. Supreme Court justice. And then, would President Trump dare to tax the rich?
Your business doesn't move in a straight line. Make sure your team is taken care of through every twist and turn with Canada Life Savings, retirement, and benefits plans. Whether you want to grow your team, support your employees at every stage, or build a workplace people want to be a part of, Canada Life has flexible plans for companies of all sizes, so it's easy to find a solution that works for you. Visit CanadaLife.com/employee benefits to learn more. Canada Life. Insurance, investments, advice.
Why let only one family member enjoy Rogers 5G when you can get everyone on the same great network?
Gather round, family. I have done it again.
Well, buckle up. Here we go. What now, Dad?
I got us all on a Rogers 5G plan. More 5G for everyone.
So I only have to pay one bill? Way to go, Dad. Unexpected W.
Get more lines on Rogers 5G and bring the whole family together on one bill. See Rogers.com/plans for details. Rogers, we got you.
Right now, during the Don Valley North Lexus demonstrator event, enjoy rates as low as 1.9% and savings up to $9,000 on select remaining 2024 demonstrator models. Details at DonValleyNorthLexus.com.
Fox News Channel. America is watching.
This is House Call for Health. As measles cases spread in the U.S., hundreds of them in multiple states, doctors are speaking out. Allison Croucher is a pediatrician and doctor of osteopathic medicine with Dooley Healthcare in Illinois. She recently told Fox News Digital she gets a lot of frequent questions from parents about the disease. For instance, should I be worried about the measles where I live or where I'm traveling to? How do I know if my child is fully vaccinated? Can my infant get the vaccine early? What if my baby's too young to get the combination MMR vaccine? My child is showing signs of a cold. Could this be early stage measles? Or even, we've been around other people who traveled recently. What symptoms should we watch for? There's no specific treatment for measles. Public health officials say getting vaccinated remains the best way to protect yourself. For more health news or for Dr. Croucher's responses to the questions you just heard, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
I'm Janice Dean, Fox News senior meteorologist and host of the Janice Dean podcast. Join me every Sunday as I focus on stories of hope and people who are truly rays of sunshine in their community and across the world. Be sure to subscribe to the Janice Dean podcast at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to spread the sunshine.
America's listening to Fox News. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
This is Jason Chaffetz from the Jason in the House podcast. Join me every Monday to dive deeper into the latest political headlines and chat with remarkable guests to hear their take on American life, politics, and entertainment. And don't forget, there's always somebody doing something stupid somewhere.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com
or wherever you download podcasts.
Must listen to podcasts from Fox News Audio. I'm Charles Payne. Listen to my Unstoppable Prosperity Pods into your favorite podcasts.
Retired U.S. Supreme Court Justice David Souter has died. The New Hampshire Republican who became a darling of liberals during his 20 years on the bench passed away at his home at the age of 85. Fox News chief legal correspondent, anchor of Fox News Sunday, Shannon Bream, is here with details. Good evening, Shannon. So how is Justice Souter being remembered?
Well, Brett, he's sort of famous around here for saying he had the world's best job in the world's worst city because he loved the law, he loved serving as a justice, but not any of the trappings or the demands of Washington. Retired Justice Stephen Breyer, who served many years with him, today called him his very good friend. He added this: he thought mostly not of himself, but of the people the Constitution will serve. He was certainly independent of the expectations that came with being nominated by a Republican president, George H.W. Bush. Conservatives lamented what they viewed as his steady creep to the left. He cast critical votes in favor of abortion rights, and he voted with the dissenters in that historic Gore v. Bush decision in 2000. Ultimately, he was happiest at home in the solitude of New Hampshire and in the company of his large collection of history books, a topic he said was critical to the health of our country.
Where history's understanding is missing, cynicism will take its place. That's what's at stake.
So in 2009, he did what many felt was unthinkable. He left a lifetime appointment at the Supreme Court at just 69, which, by the way, Brett, is when some of the justices feel like they're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, just getting warmed up. It was his vote on an eminent domain case that really triggered some of the strongest backlash of his career. What was that about?
Yeah, this was the famous Kelo case. It involved a city in Connecticut. It's planned to use eminent domain to take private homes in order to build a major development. Well, one of the homeowners, Suzette Kelo, fought the case all the way to the Supreme Court, where she lost. in part because Justice Souter voted with the majority, finding that there was a legitimate public use for taking that private home in the interest of economic revitalization and job creation. Now, critics argued they wanted to use eminent domain to take Souter's home in New Hampshire and turn it into a hotel. That obviously never happened. And by the way, that development at the heart of the Kelo case, it was never built either. Justice Souter continued to help out, hearing cases in lower courts after his retirement from the Supreme Court, as you said. Passed away peacefully, we're told, at home in New Hampshire. He was 85. Brett.
Yeah. What's Fox News Sunday look like?
Well, we got Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick with us to talk about trade deals coming together, and Senator Tom Cotton on a lot of foreign policy hotspots, including those talks with Iran this weekend.
All right, Shannon, we'll tune in. Thank you. Tonight, congressional Republicans are divided over the idea of raising taxes on the wealthy. Some see it as a move that would resonate with working-class voters who elected President Trump. Others see it as a direct violation of the president's promises on the campaign trail. Senior congressional correspondent Chad Pergram is following it all from Capitol Hill as lawmakers get a new warning about the debt ceiling. Good evening, Chad.
Brett, good evening. The Treasury says the nation likely hits the debt ceiling by August. Congress now has a hard deadline to include a debt ceiling increase in a bill designed to cut taxes, but it could include a tax hike. President Trump calling it a, quote, tiny tax increase for the super rich.
I would love to do it, frankly, but giving up something up top in order to make people in the middle income and the lower income brackets save more. So it's really a redistribution.
Some Republicans troubled by what they believe is mixed messaging. President Trump writing on Truth Social, Republicans should probably not do it, but I'm okay if they do. Taxing the wealthy is a trial balloon, which Republicans just burst.
No, we are not going to do tax increases. We don't want to raise taxes on anybody. I mean, we're about lowering taxes on Americans.
Increasing taxes on the wealthy could appeal to the president's blue-collar coalition, but the White House intends to stick to campaign promises.
President Trump has made it clear that he has his priorities, like no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security.
However, new taxes could cover spending cuts.
So we need to see what we need to do with the math and to make sure that we are doing the country well fiscally and that we don't just add to the debt.
But Republicans are frustrated after House Speaker Mike Johnson shrunk the size of the tax cuts and spending reductions.
Republicans talk a big game in campaigns. If we're not able to bend the curve on mandatory spending, then we will send a very bad signal to the bond markets.
The White House expecting congressional Republicans to ultimately vote yes on the tax bill.
The president has great political instincts. That's why he's back in the Oval Office, and Capitol Hill should follow his lead.
President Trump concedes a tax hike could be politically dangerous, and he acknowledges it could give Democrats a chance to accuse the GOP of breaking a promise to cut taxes. Brett?
We'll follow it. Chad Pergram live on the Hill. Chad, thanks. Up next, the leaders of Russia and China celebrate the anniversary of the end of World War II in Europe. We'll take you there. And then the panel on the China trade talks and the president's trip to the Middle East upcoming.
Security says Democratic members of Congress broke into an ICE detention facility in New Jersey. Newark Mayor Ras Baraka arrested, sparking backlash.
They know who we are, and yet they treated us and manhandled us and manhandled the mayor.
Congresswoman Bonnie Watson-Coleman, interim U.S. Attorney Alina Habba says the Newark mayor ignored multiple warnings to remove himself from the detention center. A judge has ordered the release of a Turkish Tufts University student detained by ICE. Fox's Kristen Goodwin.
A federal judge in Vermont granting Rumeysa Ozturk's request for bail, finding that her detention infringed on her due process and First Amendment rights, and ordering the Trump administration to release her immediately.
Homeland Security officials accused her of engaging in activities in support of Hamas, something her lawyer denies. America is listening to Fox News. From around the world, Trey Yang Hengst, joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel. To Washington,
I'm Mike Emanuel.
to your own backyard. If a story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
Your business doesn't move in a straight line. Some days bring growth, others bring challenges. But what if you or a partner needs to step away? When the unexpected happens, count on Canada Life's flexible life and health insurance to help your business keep working, even when you can't. Don't let life's challenges stand in the way of your success. Protect what you've built today. Visit CanadaLife.com/business protection to learn more. Canada Life. Insurance, investments, advice.
Why let only one family member enjoy Rogers 5G when you can get everyone on the same great network?
Gather round, family. I have done it again.
Well, buckle up. Here we go. What now, Dad?
I got us all on a Rogers 5G plan. More 5G for everyone.
So I only have to pay one bill? Way to go, Dad. Unexpected W.
Get more lines on Rogers 5G and bring the whole family together on one bill. See Rogers.com/plans for details. Rogers, we got you. When it's time to play, it's easy to find your next favorite game at Bodog.net. Play for casino games, get poker tips, and check out the latest sports odds. Visit Bodog.net today. #make a play.
We dive into the front. It's the Ben Domenech Podcast. Subscribe and listen now by going to foxnewspodcasts.com or wherever you download podcasts.
The world of business moves fast. Stay on top of it with the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday. Fox Business reporters, anchors, and hosts will bring you beneath the stock market speculation and boardroom drama to tell you about the biggest business stories of today. Whether you're on Main Street or Wall Street, Fox Business is invested in you.
Listen to the Fox Business Rundown every Monday and Friday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts. This is Fox News Talk.
Headline Rewind. 1988. Jimmy Swaggart.
To my Lord and my Savior, I have sinned against you, my Lord.
I
Come
did
on.
not commit any crimes. Read my lips.
Crazy.
Poor George. He can't help it. He was born with a silver foot in his mouth.
I served with Jack Kennedy. I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you know Jack Kennedy.
There was a terrible explosion and the whole sky lit up and it was virtually raining fire.
We must never surrender. America will get better. Keep on alive. Keep on alive.
News as it happens.